This video will look at some of the new family-friendly rights expected to come into force in law this year. They include neonatal leave and pay, carers leave, and extended protection for women returning to work from maternity leave. So neonatal leave and pay is expected to come into force this year. It will be a statutory right for employees to take time away from work and be paid if they have babies who are in neonatal care. So that is care for babies who are born prematurely or who are very sick. The leave can be taken for any time up to 28 days after birth and for any baby who was expected to be in neonatal care for over 7 days. It will be paid, but at the statutory rate, which is the same rate as maternity pay, and is available to both parents to take. So the idea is to give them the right to take time away from work to deal with what could be a very difficult and distressing situation. And it's in addition to existing rights for maternity and paternity leave. So if somebody intends to take a year's maternity leave, the time they spend on neonatal leave will be in addition to that maternity leave. Carers leave is designed to help the estimated over 1 million people in the UK who are juggling full-time jobs and caring commitments. Currently, there's no legal right to take time off work to deal with those caring commitments other than for parents of children aged under 18. Carers leave is up to a week's leave per year for an employee to take to attend to those caring responsibilities. It won't be paid unless employers choose to top it up with pay. And it's up to employers to decide whether the leave can be taken in 1 week or whether it can be taken in smaller chunks such as half days or individual days. The bill is currently going through Parliament and it's expected to come into force during this year. So currently the law provides additional protection for women on maternity leave who are told that their role is at risk of redundancy. The current requirement is that if her role is to be made redundant, if there's a suitable alternative role available within the organisation, then she has the right to be offered that role in preference to anybody else. There's a concern that women who return to work from maternity leave are disproportionately or unfairly targeted for redundancy. So the proposal is to extend that additional redundancy protection from the point at which she tells her employer that she's pregnant up to 6 months after return to work for maternity leave. This is designed to provide more time for the employee to settle back into work and for the employer to make a fairer assessment of performance and need for the job. So there's a couple to mention, although we don't know whether they're going to come into law this year. The first concerns paternity leave. So the current paternity leave provision is 2 weeks to be taken in the weeks following birth. It's paid at the statutory rate unless employers decide to top it up. There's some concern about whether 2 weeks is long enough and whether it should be extended to say 4 or maybe 6 weeks. It's currently subject to discussion, but we might have a bill introduced later this year. The second concerns extending the time limit for bringing employment tribunal claims for pregnancy and maternity discrimination. Most employment tribunal claims have a current time limit of 3 months from when the actual discrimination took place. The thinking is that those who have recently given birth or on maternity leave might need more time to weigh up the pros and cons of bringing a tribunal claim in circumstances where they feel they have been unlawfully discriminated against. Again, this is subject to further discussion, but we could see a bill introduced into Parliament later this year.